a little forgotten and belittled nowadays out of its own land. The Gathering is still active, but almost nobody talks about this band anymore today. Yet its importance for the development and the popularity of the genre Gothic Doom Metal is really very big. As its third album turned gold in the Netherlands in June 2024, I, Marcus Ganzerlich of rockmetalbands.com, celebrated with a video review of the expanded reissue of Mandylion. The version I bought is a double CD released in 2005 by Century Media on the 10th anniversary of the official release. This version contains a 16-page booklet. The front cover artwork of the cardboard in which the double CD is contained is the same as the front cover artwork of the first page of the booklet. We have a rare version of the logo of the band. I've never seen it on the other releases prior to this or later. On the 2005 version, the title of the album is in a font which is between italics and capital letters. The background is golden with a texture that can be seen only if it's put on a diagonal with a lot of light on. The protagonist of the front cover artwork is a tiki head with a strange oval symbol. On the original CD, the tiki head was a little on the left, while on this version it is perfectly in the middle. The original version also had a different texture, which was in red and black. The booklet is rich in drawings and photos. As to the drawings, some of them are digital, others are quite bizarre and it is not explained what they mean. For instance, we have a page with an astrological image of the sun, then we have another with a strange, hallucinated, scary face with thick hair and a disproportionate smile. Then there is another page with a naked human lying on one of their sides. Their face is somewhat deformed. All around we see Arabic writings and fish, and all of these subjects are within a crescent moon. Then, for instance, we have a photo of the band, and then we have a photo of one of the two producers, Valdemar Sorikta, with a comment about the genesis of the album. We also have lyrics for all of the tracks together with comments and curiosities about them. As to the trivia, I can mention the following ones. For instance, before Mandylion, the Gathering used to rehearse above the carpentry of synthesizerist Frank Boeyen. Despite the fact that the song title comes from The Lord of the Rings, the lyrics of Eleanor are influenced and inspired by the flick The Schindler's List. Parts of the scenes for the official video of Leaves were shot in a forest in the southern Netherlands, while others were shot at the Vatican. The title track was already composed and performed by the two brothers René and Frank Boeyen when they played in a project band called Deep Triest. Nightwish's latest singer, Floor Jansen, said she has been heavily influenced by Anneke Van Giersbergen, the vocalist for The Gathering that appeared on this album. Mandylion is the only album composed before Anneke's entry to the band, unlike the others which were written with Anneke's qualities in their minds. Now, moving to the lyrical content, we have to observe that all of the lyrics were penned by Anneke, and they vary from desperation to dreams and are respectively about strange machines to travel back and forth in time, what lies behind the mask of a selfish person who has been busted by someone else who is tired of their behavior, cries, sobs and mental death, the end of a sentimental relationship, the fear of being swept away by a flood, and finally the closeness of a person to a dear near death. As to the engineering and sound quality, I want to say the album was recorded and mixed at Woodhouse Studios in Hagen, Germany by Ziggy Bam and Valdemar Sorikta. Sorikta also played in Despair, Eyes of Eden, Enemy of the Sun, Grip Inc. and Voodoo Cult. Worked at their production for bands such as Tiamat, Moonspell, Unleashed, Sodom, Rusty Eye, Tristania, Elastis, Flowing Tears, The Other, Lacuna Coil, Sentenced, Exhumer and several others. Then the songs were mastered at DMS Studios. The result is songs that are as heavy as Black Sabbath, but supported by a crisp production, with vocals that have not been mixed up front. For what regards the musical analysis, many have said the genre that The Gathering expressed on Mandylion is within the realm of atmospherical and symphonic Gothic Doom Metal. 99% of the vocal parts are female ones by Anneke, and there are just rare male spoken words. The Gathering songs are rich in lengthy instrumental parts, so that The Gathering are a blend of anathema that can dance with occasional dream pop melodies. The Gathering were not afraid to use an exotic flute and even medieval influences. The bass player doesn't mimic what the guitars do. It's nice that he goes with his bass lines, and the keyboards are not just a means to accompany the other instruments, but they decorate and fill in the spaces within parts of the songs. Skill and difficulty in music are not the right words that can be used to describe the music on Mandylion, but stellar creativity do. All the songs on Mandylion have the different nuances and tempos, except for In Motion 1 and 2, which are based on a sober 6/8 beat. CD number 1 contains 8 tracks and begins with Strange Machines, which is accompanied by an official video rich in hippie vibes, vintage effects, with Anneke dancing all the time. The song begins with a doom metal riff until drums and keyboards enter, so as to stress out the majesty of the track. The entrance of the accompanying guitars and vocals, together with minimalistic drum roll fills, work like a charm. Anneke's vocal nuances intersect well in a fragment with euphonic beats and electronic noises preceding a fast gothic metal riff. Then the keys come back in a lengthy instrumental section, and they were also chosen to close this track. Joyous keys and groovy bass lines open in Motion number 1, prior to the other instruments and finally Anneke's voice. This song is particularly appreciated by fans of the British shoegazer scene. I'm referring to bands like Slow Dive and My Bloody Valentine, but also fans of Dead Can Dance appreciate it too. Coupled with an official video, Leaves commences with a sweet reverberated arpeggio, a few keyboards interventions, and later on bass, drums and guitar licks are added, but they arrive walking on tiptoe, as long as the song flares up by means of a slow riff and the hypnotic vocals that make me fall in love. An echoed, Middle Eastern flavored Chennai flute going on a solo is what you'll find at the beginning of a title track, and soon afterwards, synths from the Reign of the Dead are added. The flute decreases its speed and makes a final long exhalation, superseded by tribal drums that belong to the realm of world music. In Motion number 2 instantly reprises the first chapter through music and vocals, which a cello-led goth soundscape is positioned on. The guitars move between doom metal and post-grunge when all of a sudden a refined guitar solo takes over. The second CD contains 7 previously unreleased tracks coming from a demo released in June 94 and the second recorded at the beginning of 1995. I can only spend positive words about the instrumental Solar Glider, abundant in meaningful synths. It's a song which contains a lot of slowdowns and accelerations. Some parts are even power metal, some parts are in the vein of Black Sabbath. It has massive riffs dominating the song, as heavily affected as the keys. In conclusion, Mandylion is a full length that made Gothic Doom Metal big and is for sure one you can play for a friend who never or seldom listens to metal. Melancholic, introspective, somber, lush, bittersweet, mysterious, hypnotic, poignant, nocturnal, transcendent, poetic, riveting are just some of the few adjectives one can use to describe the feelings that come from the listen of Mandylion. Granted, Anneke doesn't have the operatic vocal qualities of Tarja Turunen, and so she can be described as a modern, more versatile version of Julie Regan from the band All About Eve. Yet Anneke has other qualities. She can be a siren, a goddess. She is a creature making wonders with her voice and mind. All of this on an album with musicians she had never worked with previously. If you like this review, feel free to hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I hope to see you on the next one.